Hi and welcome to this very special episode of Junk Journal with me. As you saw from the title, we're on number 100. This is absolutely amazing. So we have a few things going on in this video, and at the very end I have something very special to share with you guys. So I hope you stick around. So what you see me holding here are some birds that I've had from AliExpress for quite a long time, and I don't remember why I ordered them. um, but I remember I thought they were going to be a lot smaller, so I think when I got them I was kind of overwhelmed with their size, so I didn't really ever do anything with them. So now I decided I wanted to use one of those, so I am using one of Marcy's Happy Mail lace pieces, which fit exactly for my page without having even to cut it down. I'm going to make a pocket out of that, and in that I'm going to put I'm making a journal card for myself, adding her wonderful tissue paper that was in her Happy Mail as well. And what I'm going to be writing about is, so I'm going to choose, for this episode I'm choosing two of the Cafe Analog May prompts, and the first one that I'm going to use on this journaling card is what inspires you. And so this time I'm not going to talk about someone who inspires me artistically, but I have someone who very much inspires me from, I guess you could say, more from a business point of view. And her name is Jade Wangza. Oh my god, it's a hard name, sorry. Dharma Wangza. I will link her channel below if you're interested. When I started watching her a year ago, when I was trying to set up my channel, she was 17 and she already was an entrepreneur, and she had worked in her dad's company. She's so smart, and she has so many good tips on starting your social media, and her purpose is to help you grow your social media. So I really enjoyed watching her. She is very unique and very quirky, very crazy, and probably not everyone's cup of tea. So I was watching her for quite a while back then, and then I kind of stopped, and now I'm at a phase for my channel that I want to implement different things again, and I want to step out of my comfort zone. I want to risk things. I'm willing to fail on some things because that's just part of it. That's where you learn, and she really inspires me to do that. So that's why I'm putting her on this card as my inspiration, because watching her channel and her tips really motivates me to keep going, to constantly push my boundaries, to grow on my channel, but also to grow as a person. So it's a very interesting journey I'm on, and it's exciting, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm so happy that you guys are with me on this journey. So I have now covered this cardstock that I had on both sides with the paper that I had from the tissue paper I had from Marcia, and I chose this little die cut that I had from a previous Happy Mail, and now I'm just using my roller stamp that I will link below, both from AliExpress and from Amazon, if you're interested. And what I usually do is I stamp it first on a scrap sheet of paper, just to see if the letters are lined up, because that can be quite tricky. And then I'll just stamp it on the real thing. And one thing I want to say is, if you want to get this one that has the 12 rotation wheels, there's several. There's, I think, 8, 10, 12, and I think there might even be 14 digits. Please take into consideration that it can be quite tricky with this amount of wheels to turn, because You kind of need small fingers because otherwise you turn more than one because they're so close to each other. So this is the outcome, and unfortunately the stamp doesn't have a question mark. It has a period and I think a dash, but they don't have exclamation or question mark. So I had to just do that with my own pen. So I'm just adding that as a title. I'm just going to add that with my glue stick. And now, since that has dried, where I glued down the bird, I am now going to just glue the three sides to form a pocket. A lot of times it's easier to put the glue on the paper than on the object you're gluing, especially if it's something a little bit more dimensional than a piece of paper. So now I've also taken this card to my sewing machine, just sewed around it once, and that just gives it a final accent. Now, next I'm moving on to the second prompt, which is pet peeves. Now I know I have quite a few viewers that are not native English speakers, and you might be wondering, what does pet peeves mean? So as far as I understand, pet peeves are the things that annoy you, that you find annoying in your life. And I'm going to be journaling about 3 things that I came up with. And I just recently found this very pretty tulip spring-themed stationery paper while trying to declutter some of my paper products. So I was very happy to find this because it's very cute and it's perfect for a spring or even summer journal. So as you saw, I just tore around that with my tearing ruler, which you can also find linked below. And I'm going to be adding this cute polka dot die cut, which I can also link below. It's from AliExpress. And I'm going to be using this time my Recollections clickable alpha stamps, which you can either get at Michael's if you're in the States, or I have the exact same thing but from a different brand linked in the Amazon links below as well. So I'm just gonna stamp the words pet peeves, but as you will be able to see in a second, I totally messed that up because one of the letters kind of, I don't know what I do. It comes off, so you see I have this V now on my label, and since the back side was white, I couldn't just turn it around. So instead I used some coffee stained paper and I stamped it on there. The issue with stamping the word peeves is it has 3 E's, and my stamp set only has 2 E's, so I have to stamp it on 2 separate goes. And I wanted to make them match up nicely so that you don't see I couldn't stamp it in one. So as you see, it took quite a few times for me to get that right so that the spacing works. So finally, after I managed that, I'm just using my regular ruler to tear those 2 words, because that way it comes out straight. Because when I try to cut words like this with scissors, I can never manage to get it straight, and I end up cutting and cutting and cutting until there's nothing left to cut. So this is definitely the better option. So now I'm just going to glue that over where I messed up, and it's as good as new. Okay, so I'm just going to now glue that onto my tulips, and then I'll be journaling about the 3 pet peeves I have. And while I was journaling, I realized that they all have a thing in common. So let me just read those to you. So number 1 would be loud, noisy, inconsiderate people with no respect for others. Number 2 is loud cars or motorcycles and drivers who blast their music with windows rolled down. And number 3 is choleric, hot-tempered men who will lose it in 1 second and start yelling around. As you can see, sorry, I forgot, I added a lace trim at the bottom. So yeah, I just apparently needed to add a little something there. Yeah, so all of these pet peeves have to do with loud and like loud noise. So apparently I'm very sensitive to loud things, unless it's music I'm enjoying, I guess. Yeah, so I would love to hear about your pet peeves, actually. I think that's always interesting to hear. Okay, moving on. Now I'm at a point in my journal where I kind of want to wrap it up because it's so thick and has such a gator mouth that I'm trying to find solutions of how to not make it grow anymore, but on the contrary, maybe to slim it down a little bit, which is really difficult. But here I'm tearing out some pages where both the front and the back side of the folded paper don't have anything on them yet. So I managed to find 3 of those. So I just tore those out. And yeah, you can see it's still an incredible gator mouth, but at least by taking this 6 single pages out, at least I'm not adding to that. And now I have these 2 other pages which I can't tear out because they are, you know, the other parts of those pages have things on them. But what I can do is, or you in that situation, what you could do is you could just glue them together totally to make one page, and then just cut the excess, off. So like you see me doing here now, I'm just gonna cut the top off of the one page, and I cut the other page on the side a little bit to make them fit together, to have them, to make them the same size essentially. But what I'm gonna do is I'm not going to just glue them together, which I could have done, but I actually wanted to make a pocket out of them. And rather than just gluing them together and let that be, I wanted it to have a more interesting shape. And so now I'm just using my pencil to draw that shape. And then I'm going to be cutting that out with my scissors. And I guess first I'm gluing the sides down. So for all of these, I'm just using my regular white Elmer's glue. Usually I would use tacky glue, but for some reason I had some Elmer's glue that I found in my stash, so I'm using that. Yeah, so here you see I'm just trying to cut that shape. You could also maybe just round the corners if you want to do something different, or you could just kind of cut a V into it. Ooh, that would have been interesting too. I'm just thinking of that now. I will have to try that another time. Just maybe cut a shallow V into that. I will definitely have to try that. So now I have this shape and I have the pocket, as you can see. And of course now I needed something to put into the pocket. So I'm going to take my drawer of larger sized ephemera, and I'm going through some options of what I could put in that pocket, what I thought might fit from the size, and or you know, something I could maybe cut down. So I'm just choosing a few things. A lot of these are cutouts from a floral book that I have also listed, or I'm not sure, I'll have to check. Maybe I have it listed below. It's a used book I got from Amazon. Very nice flower illustrated book. And yeah, I have some postcards with dragonflies, and I think I have some other postcards. So yeah, so I just chose some that I thought might work, and now I'm gonna go through these to decide which one I actually want to use in the end, seeing what would fit. And I actually end up liking that butterfly one because the size was good and it was sturdy, and it was perfect as it was. I didn't have to cut it down or anything. So obviously I'm going to ink up the edges, both of the envelope but or the pocket, but just from the one side, because I wasn't sure yet what I would be doing on the back side. I'm gonna leave that for another time, or I might just leave it as is. And of course I'm inking the card as well on both sides. And sticking that in, I noticed it needs something where I can pull it out better. So I'm using this brown fabric that was in Marcia's Happy Mail. And I'm just going to cut out a piece that I'm going to tear to make a tab. And I also wanted to add, I remember I had from another Happy Mail this paper, no, this safety pin left over, which was really cute, and I wanted to add that as well. So I will be adding that here shortly. So first I put this on, and then this is the paper clip, and it has some cute beads on it and a little angel. And I was trying to come up with how to put that on without having to remove the pins. And thank you very much, Emma. You had given me the tip from the other video where I used the other paper clip that I could just put it around like I am doing now. I just had to cut this piece of fabric down a little bit to make it fit, but you'll see in a second how I'm gonna put. I'm just basically gonna put the whole thing around the piece of fabric, so it's not really pinned on. So I'm just wrapping that around. So thank you, Emma, for that tip. I appreciate that. So now I'm just gonna glue that back on. Yeah, and there it is in the pocket with the clip. And now let's go to what you've actually been waiting for. So the surprise is a pretty cool giveaway. I have been in contact with the new company inlovearts, who have opened an online shop in February this year, and they are sponsoring a giveaway for $50, 50, for my viewers as a prize for the giveaway I'm doing. And they're also giving you guys a 15% discount code for anything you buy in their shop. So I will honestly say I don't have any of their products yet, but I will link in the description box some videos of YouTubers that have used their things and are willing to give testimony to them. So I trust that their products are very good. They have dies, stamps, diamond painting, and lace machines. And I honestly don't know what that is, but go check it out. They have special designers that design for their shop, meaning they don't have things that everyone else is selling also. Obviously they have copyright for all of their products, and yeah, so it's definitely worth checking out. And all you have to do is you have to be a subscriber, you have to like my video, and you have to leave a comment below with the keyword inlovearts, so I know that you want to participate, and describe something kind someone did for you in the past few days. I wanted us to remember that people are kind, and that we do actually live in a kind world, even if all the news is so bad all the time. I don't want us to forget all the lovely parts in our lives. So good luck, and I will be picking a random winner on Thursday, May 30th with a software, and I will be showing that probably on that Saturday afterwards then. Okay, so good luck everyone, and thank you for watching. Bye!